So I think everybody knows by now that the ELIXIR bandwagon is in full force, full steam ahead. And here we have Le Male ELIXIR by Jean Paul Gaultier. Of course, we've had Dior Sauvage ELIXIR, we've had Paco Rabanne Invictus Victory ELIXIR, we've had so many elixirs. Well, what about this one? Is this one going to be any good? It has the traditional lavender, mint, vanilla ingredients that you also find in the original Le Male from the mid-90s, but we have some added dark notes in the heart and in the dry down. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new release, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Le Male ELIXIR by Jean Paul Gaultier, I purchased this from Macy's about 2 weeks ago. I do want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. So, like I said, the original Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male was released in the mid-90s. The perfumer is Francis Kurkdjian, and the three most touted notes, most talked about notes are vanilla, mint, lavender. Boom. Here we have a reimagination of that DNA. This one is actually much darker. There's honey, there's tonka bean, there's tobacco, there's benzoin, which is a type of deep medicinal resinous ingredient, and it's a different perfumer as well. The perfumer for this one is Quentin Biche, who has done Delina by Parfums de Marly. He's done so many other amazing fragrances, and he's worked on a bunch of both designer and niche fragrances on his own and in collaboration with other perfumers. How much darker is this one going to go? Is it worth getting this one over the original? How similar is it to the original? I'm going to answer all of these questions in just a second. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this creamy, smooth, mellifluous warmth from the fragrance. And I say mellifluous because I am smelling the honey. The honey is smooth, it's soft, it's mellow, it has this golden aura emitting from it. It's a beautiful ingredient. And the one thing that I really enjoy about this one is that the honey in here does not smell powdery. That's something that can turn a lot of people off. It scares a lot of people away. You don't want a fragrance that smells like baby powder. At least a lot of people don't. Myself personally, I don't mind it. I actually do enjoy those types of fragrances, especially if they're on the clean side of things. There is another honey-based fragrance by Kilian Paris called Back to Black. This smells nothing like it. You have the honey in here, and the vanilla kind of bridges that sweetness because the honey is in the dry down, the vanilla is in the heart, I think, from what I read in the note breakdown, but it doesn't really matter, right? Both of those have a larger molecular structure. They're kind of residing in the deep conclusion of the fragrance. What you get in the opening is the lavender and the mint. The lavender, quite aromatic, doesn't smell like a cleaning product. I know a lot of people think of lavender, they think of Fabuloso or something like that. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say that the lavender in the original Le Male is stronger. This one, it's kind of clouded out by the use of the benzoin and the vanilla and the honey and the tonka bean. The tobacco is very subtle. It's all the way in the dry down. You really have to look for it. You have to put on the magnifying glasses, and even then you might still miss it because the vanilla is front and center, the benzoin is front and center. The best way that I can describe the smell of benzoin is that it is a resin. It has a balsamic richness to it. There's a vanillic overtone. Some people even say it smells syrupy or medicinal. It doesn't smell like cough syrup per se, but it does have this dark tinge to it. So here we have mint, lavender, vanilla, tonka bean, which is rather smooth. There's an active compound in tonka bean known as coumarin, and it adds to the sweetness of the fragrance. So there's a lot of ingredients in here that are making this sweet. This is much sweeter than the original. And of course, there's been a lot of flankers, Essence de Parfum, and there's so many varieties of Le Male that have been released onto the market. Of course, there's in the Navy and Superman and Popeye and all of these flankers. And personally, I am a fan of them. But what I've seen is that this perfumer, Quentin Biche, when he's been creating fragrances for Carolina Herrera and Etat Libre d'Orange and all of these other brands, he knows how to utilize this modern sweetness, and that's what this fragrance has. This fragrance is darker than the original. It's not as playful as the original. It still has that flirtatious nature about it, but it's more sophisticated. So this is a great fragrance for like a night out. You're going to a party, you're going to the club, you're going to a bar. You want something that's a bit deeper, richer, so on and so forth. Le Male ELIXIR is the way to go. We've seen that dichotomy and the contrast between the original Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette and Sauvage Elixir. Sauvage Elixir is actually much darker, spicier, so on and so forth. Same thing with Invictus Victory Elixir by Paco Rabanne, much darker, warmer, more resinous, richer, deeper, so on and so forth. That's the direction the fragrance industry is going in. Whenever you see Elixir, you know it's going to be one of the darkest iterations of that particular DNA, and that's what's happening here. For me personally, if I can get a little subjective about it, I love this. It is one of the best releases of 2023. Of course, I also recently reviewed Ralph's Club Elixir by Ralph Lauren. So there's been a lot of elixirs coming out lately. I know there's also Apex Elixir, I think, by Roja Parfum. It gets blurry in my mind, all of these elixirs. But in any case, this stuff is one of the best releases of 2023 without a shadow of a doubt. And of course, this is to be worn in a colder climate. The original Le Male, I would wear it in every season, to be honest with you, especially on account of the performance issues. This has no performance issues. You're going to get about 9-10 hours with it. And this one is great for the colder weather because of all of the notes and the kind of mental image that it conveys, the setting, the landscape, the honey, vanilla, tonka bean, tobacco, so on and so forth. This stuff is really special. Give it a chance. I hope you can find it at your local Macy's or whatever department store happens to be carrying it at the time of you watching this video. Like I said, I bought my bottle from Macy's, over $100. They had only the big size. I don't regret it because I love it. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it does possess a DNA that is in that sweeter, darker, richer, deeper, more resinous direction that I've kind of experienced with some fragrances, but in a lineup, I could easily pick this one out. It's not a clone or a twist of anything. It's not reductive in any way. This smells awesome. I love it. In terms of the longevity, 9 to 10 hours. Projection was amazing. For the first hour of application, it radiated beyond an arm's length, despite the fact that there really isn't citrus in here. Of course, there's probably citrol and citronellol and linalool and these other, molecules that give off a citrusy vibe. But in terms of the note breakdown, there really isn't a citrus fruit listed in there, not even bergamot, from what I can remember. But nevertheless, the projection is really good. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 7, a skin scent right around hour 9 or 10. In terms of the versatility, masculine leaning, great for the colder weather, fall and winter, great for casual or formal scenarios. The sweetness allows you to dress it down, but the complexity of the blend allows you to dress it up. And anybody of any age would really enjoy this one. And to be honest with you, I think the original Le Male would probably cater to somebody who's been around in the 90s, maybe had it as their signature scent. It might have a nostalgia component for that person. But all things considered, versatile. I do like how the clip here has a thicker ring and it appears to be more durable. And I do like the texture on the bottle here. The gold aesthetic I think is quite beautiful with the red pedestal. My final verdict on this fragrance, it is one of the best releases of 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if other reviewers or critics or whatever are putting out content saying that it's their favorite release or it's one of the best releases of 2023. And I think it is. Ralph's Club Elixir is up there. CH for Men Passion by Carolina Herrera is up there. Those three are basically the top 3 best designer releases so far, unless of course I'm forgetting something. I very well could be. I review a new fragrance almost every single day if you exclude top 10 lists and whatever. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Le Male Elixir by Jean Paul Gaultier. If you own or have tried this fragrance, drop your comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Do you have a favorite Le Male fragrance? Is it the original? Do you have a favorite flanker? Do you not like Le Male at all? I respect that. Drop your comments down below. Always love to hear from you. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.